Hi guys, so we're on chapter 11 now of Jeremy Strong's Beware the Colour Tomatoes, and we're on How Princess Lala Saved My Life. I'm going mad waiting to be arrested. If this goes on much longer, I think I'll go to the nearest police station and give myself up. It's either that or leave the country. It's 2 days since Maisie and I went to Casualty, and she hasn't been back since. Tyler had an operation yesterday, and he's either had the curtains round his bed or he's been fast asleep. Tyler's the latest guest at the hotel hospital. Liam's gone, and Tyler arrived. Liam went yesterday morning. His parents came and helped him pack. I'm going to miss him. Time was really dragging. I was desperate for something to do, and in the end I went and played paper, scissors, stone with Princess Lala. Unfortunately, she's much better at it than me. We started off doing best of 5, but she was still winning, so I said best of 11 and so on. I gave up when it was best of 49. I was too far behind. What does that stuff taste of? I asked, pointing to the bowl beside her bed. Not a lot, she shrugged. It looks horrible. It's not as horrible as throwing up every time I eat something I'm allergic to, she said. I guess not. It was hard to imagine food making you ill and miserable. I like eating. I don't know what I'd do if I was like Kirsty with all these allergies. You'll be going home soon then? A few more days, I nodded. Got to do more physio first. How about you? I've to do some tests with the dietitian and then I can go home for the time being. Will you have to come back? Kirsty nodded. This is my 7th stay. 7th? No wonder she always looked fed up. Wouldn't it be easier to live here all the time? I asked. Is that what you'd like to do? She flashed back. It was only a joke. Kirsty gave a sour glance. I don't think hospitals are very jokey places. Of course not. That's the point. You've got to have jokes, otherwise you'd go mad. Making jokes hasn't stopped you going mad. You're the maddest person in the building now that crazy Maisie's gone. There was a little smile on her face. See, I said triumphantly, you just made a joke and it cheered you up. You're almost smiling. The smile vanished instantly. I thought it was because of what I'd just said, but Kirsty was staring over my shoulder towards the desk. I swung round to look and my heart stopped dead on the spot. If I'd been fixed up to one of those cardiogram thingies, it would have been flatlining and everyone would be rushing round, giving me mouth to mouth and all that stuff. 2 policemen were at the desk. One was talking to Tricia and the other was gazing carefully round the ward. His eyes fixed on me, and there they stopped. Tricia brought them over. Jack, these policemen would like to have a word with you. Give me a shout if you need me. I think your parents were meant to be here, but they seem to be late. Maybe Kirsty will keep an eye on them for you. And she winked at both of us. Ha, very funny. I could hardly bring myself to look the policeman in the face. It was as if their eyes were speaking to me, saying, we have you now, Jack Lemming. We've tracked you down and you're heading for the slammer. There was no way any miracle was going to rescue me this time. You two are an item then, are you? No way, we chorused, looked at each other in surprise and turned deep red. One of the policemen got out a notepad and licked his pencil. My mum says you shouldn't lick pencils because you can get brain damage, Kirsty said. Is that right? Said the policeman. I don't know, I'm just telling you what my mum says. She also says carrots make you see in the dark, but I don't believe her. If it were true, rabbits would never get run over. That's very interesting, Kirsty, but we need to ask your friend some questions. He's not my friend, he's only 11. The taller officer glanced wearily at the companion who shrugged and said, That's the trouble with patients, they're getting younger all the time. They both chuckled and the tall officer turned back to me. Now then, Jack, cast your mind back to your accident. Was the car you crashed into moving? No, I don't think there was anyone in it, I told the other man all that. What other man? Mr. Cutter. Oh yes, he's not with us though. Mr. Cutter works for the insurance company involved. The accident details were reported to the police, so we have to ask our own questions. Why didn't you see the car you were crashing into? Well, I was riding fast. I guess that. You wouldn't have broken your leg if you was riding slowly. But why didn't you see the car even if you was riding fast? Think, brain. Think, quick. Think of something. Well, I was looking back over my shoulder. Ah, now that makes sense. What were you looking for? Think again. Come on, get yourself into gear, brain. What could I tell him? How could I say I thought that everyone was after me because I just killed an old man by burying him under a tomato landslide? Well, I thought I dropped something from your shopping. I thought I dropped the milk. And had you? Well, I don't know. That was weird, actually. What had happened to the milk? It must have got lost in the crash because I never saw it again. Maybe somebody found it after the mess had been cleared and they saw it and they thought, free milk, I'll have that. And they took it. They stole my milk. The milk was stolen, I said flatly. You'd stolen the milk? That's why you were riding so fast. You were making a getaway, pressed the policeman. No, I was panicking. Princess Lala gave a deep sigh. Jack means he dropped the milk when he crashed and it was never found. Maybe somebody saw it and took it. We all looked at her, me gratefully and the policeman with surprise. Ah, yes, of course. Let's forget the milk then and go back to the accident. Do you know how much damage you caused? I could feel the blood drain from my face. I have no idea where it all went after that. I swallowed hard and I shook my head. Did the policeman asking all the questions? It was very bad, Jack. Very, very bad. I don't think it was much fun for Jack either, put in Princess sharply. He's been in hospital for 5 weeks with a broken leg. It's not a holiday camp here, you know. Have you got any more questions? Jack's tired and he needs his rest. The two policemen looked at one another. One put his notebook away. Well, that'll be all for now. They nodded at each other and went clomping off. Kirsty watched them depart. You look like you've seen a ghost, she said. Maybe several. Thanks for getting rid of them, I managed to mutter, rather hoarsely. Policemen are supposed to be helpful, she said, but they scared me. Me too. I'd better get back to bed, thanks. My mind was in a whirl. So many questions. Why hadn't the police arrested me? Why were they trying to trick me into a confession? Why hadn't they said anything about the body in the supermarket? Were they trying to find out how much I knew? And then there was Kirsty. What was all that about? Why had she stuck up for me like that? I was beginning to feel a bit rotten about the tricks Liam and I had played. Things were such a muddle. I had been hoping that as time went by, things were becoming clearer, but instead they're just getting more and more confused. And that, guys, is the end of that chapter. So, we'll see you back in class. I'm trying to switch off the video, and it's not letting me stop it.